What's up guys, this is Toad Games here, and today we're going to be talking about the newest Pokemon game in the franchise, and the first Pokemon game that can be played on the Switch, drumroll please, Pokken Tournament Deluxe, or DX if you prefer to call it that. Anyway, let's get back to the video. If this video gets 50 likes, I will do a full playthrough of Pokken Tournament Deluxe. But don't get your hopes not, if it doesn't, this video will be all for the new Pokemon game. And just as a quick disclaimer, this video is not a paid advertisement for Nintendo, and this video includes all my personal opinions. I just wanted to tell you that because I like to be completely transparent with my viewers. Anyway, let's get into the video. So right here is the game menu, which is basically where you can control and enter everything in the game. Now let's go into some actual gameplay, shall we? You can see I will be playing as Decidueye, and one thing different about the Switch version of Pokken is that they added a lot of cool new characters to the game, like Decidueye that I'm playing currently, which I really like anyway. Let's get into this match. And just to let you know, I'm not even near pro at this game. I just hope I don't lose any of the matches on this vid, because that would be embarrassing. Alright guys, let's get started with the review. Now, while you're watching this video, what probably jumps out to you and what jumped out to me when I loaded up the game was the graphics are amazing. Like, look at Decidueye right now. Tell me that is not awesome. And anyway, I really like how Nintendo utilizes the Switch's power, because remember, the Switch is much more powerful than the 3DS. Sorry, I'm gonna hate on it a bit. There's nothing you can do about it. My channel, my video. Anyway, another thing I really like about it is it's a great combination of an action fighting game and an RPG. I love the Pokemon franchise, and I think a lot of Pokemon fans will love it too. Now, one thing I think I should probably note and touch on is that it's kind of a harder game to play. So let's say your younger brother really wants to play on his separate account for Pokemon. I don't think that would be a great idea depending on his age, because this game is a hardcore fighting game, and depending on what level you are, it can get pretty hard. But if the kid is experienced with games, I think it's a great idea, a great game, and is pretty underestimated right now. Anyway, let's get back to the video. I also really like how smoothly it runs and how many different characters there are with different abilities. It almost feels like Street Fighter and Pokemon just came together and made the perfect game, and I really like it. One thing to note about this game is that it is $50, so it's pretty expensive, but it's not the most expensive of all the Pokemon games. Usually they can be up to $60, and this one's $50. Just wanted to note the price. And one thing I also really like about this game is the way how they made it so you could play really competitively, and you can also just play for fun, which I think is great. And I think this is going to be a great game and something to look out for 2018. And my all-time favorite thing about this game is that it gives you a taste of Pokemon on the Switch, something we've been waiting for since the Switch was released. And I kind of love that. I think Nintendo made a great move by announcing this game, because so many people were waiting for Pokemon on the Switch, and this is a great compromise for Nintendo and for us.
Congrats!
Now that I've talked about how great this game really is, I have to mention this downside, because this is a review after all. The first downside I want to touch on is that this is a battery-heavy game, which means it will drain your battery fast. It isn't exactly Zelda, where it drains it incredibly fast if you have it on the full mode, but it is something to consider before purchasing. Another thing to consider before purchasing is that is basically the same thing on the Wii U version. It hasn't really changed other than the added new characters, which I do love, but if you think there's going to be like new stuff, new DLC, whatever, it's not here. But it is cool how Nintendo made this great game portable.
Yeah.
And before we finish this video, I have to say the thing I dislike about Pokken the most. I know this may sound a bit harsh, but I really don't like how repetitive it can get. I think it's a great game, but like all fighting games, it can get repetitive and hard to push, and just because it's Pokemon doesn't mean it's not susceptible to that. Now that we've got that out of the way, now it's time to conclude this video and give you my final thoughts. My final thoughts are, it's a great game, it's running solidly on the Switch, but it is a bit battery heavy, and like I mentioned before, it can get repetitive, but a great game overall, and a steal. Especially if you have my link in the description below. Yes, I will be putting that in the description below. Peace out, Toadjam.